the Gemara, the Gemara says that the day that they brought the Korban Omer, or the day, meaning the 16th of Nisan, we said that the 16th of Nisan was the day that they would bring the Korban Omer, right? The second day of Pesach there was a special offering that was brought, that was made from barley, and as a result of that offering, we were able to go ahead and eat the new crop. Morning, Nathan. Good to see you.
Morning.
So now, and then the Gemara said that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, who instituted when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, he said that second day of Pesach, that it's true. Good morning. Good to see you, Nisan. Nisan, good to see you. We have to take a Gemara over there. That I just want to remind you to say Birkat Torah before you learn. You got to make sure you say the bracha on the Torah. Okay. So he instituted, according to Torah law, the new crop that took root after the previous Pesach, you can't eat until the following Pesach, until the next Pesach, the second day of Pesach, when they brought the Korban Omer. When they brought that Korban Omer, once they brought that Korban, then you could go ahead and eat from the new crop. So now, when the Beit HaMikdash was around, they did not bring the Korban Omer. There was no Korban Omer to bring it. There was no offering to bring when there's no Beit HaMikdash. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said he instituted, you have to wait the whole day. You cannot eat the new crop until the end of the day, at the end of the 16th of Nisan, which would obviously be a longer wait than when the Beit HaMikdash was around. When the Beit HaMikdash was around, whatever time they brought the Korban Omer during the second day of Pesach, you're ready from that moment, you could start eating, but now you can't, you have to wait till the end of the day. So the Gemara wants to understand what's the reason for his enactment. My timer, 38.4 in the art scroll. You got it, Adam, on the right side. My timer. So the Gemara says, Mehera Yibona Beit HaMikdash. We're always hoping that the Beit HaMikdash should be built right away, very soon. This coming year it should be built. V'yomru, and the people will say, now, really on a Torah level, when there's no Beit HaMikdash, really you're technically in the morning of the 16th. You're not, the only time you have to wait till the Korban is brought is when there was a Beit HaMikdash. When there's no Beit HaMikdash, technically in the morning of the 16th, you can go ahead and eat the new crop. So what will people say? What will happen? Good morning, Simon. Good to see you. So the people will say, Ishtakad last year, Simon, we are on 38.4. We're trying to understand the enactment of Yochanan ben Zakkai. Why did he say that the second day of Pesach cannot eat the new crop until the end of the second day of Pesach? The Gemara says because if you will allow the people to eat the korban, to eat the new food, to eat the new crop in the morning of the 16th, so people will say, what will happen? As Hashem, the coming year, the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt. Let's say this coming year. And then the Yomru people will say, Eshtakad, last year, when the Beit HaMikdash wasn't rebuilt, didn't we eat in the morning of the 16th when the east was full of light? Let's say it was dawn in the eastern side. And at Alot HaShachar, we ate in the morning. So Asher Nami Necha. So the same way last year in the morning we ate. So this year on the 16th in the morning we're going to eat. And people will not know the Ishtakad. Last year lo havi omer. There was no Korban Omer last year. Therefore, that's why there was no Korban Heyem Mizrach Hetir. Therefore, they were permitted to eat it in the morning. However, Hashta, but now the Ika Omer, where there is a Korban Omer, you have no right to eat in the morning of the 16th. Only Omer Matir, only when they bring the actual Korban. And therefore, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was very concerned. The rabbis are here to protect the Torah, to make fences that people shouldn't come to violate the Torah. So here was an illustration that the rabbis, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai and his Beis Din and his court created this enactment to make sure that, you have to have foresight. You have to realize the Beit HaMikdash hopefully will be rebuilt. And if you would allow them in the morning to eat the new crop, then they're going to continue doing that when the Beit HaMikdash is rebuilt. But the only thing is, when the Beit HaMikdash is rebuilt, you cannot eat it in the morning. You have to wait till when they actually bring the actual korban, the offering. And therefore, in order to ensure that people won't make that mistake, he said you have to wait until the night of the 16th, when there's no Beit HaMikdash, and then you could go ahead and eat from the new crop. Okay, you waited a few extra hours, you waited an extra 12 hours, not a big deal. Now, so the Gemara, now we're turning to page 38.5. So the Gemara says, what is the future situation that Yochanan was concerned about? The Mivnei Eimat. When will they build the Beit HaMikdash? At what time of the day are we concerned that they will finish building the Beit HaMikdash? That as a result of that, we have to go ahead, and this past year, when the Beit HaMikdash wasn't rebuilt, we did not allow you to eat in the morning because we're afraid of the building of the Beit HaMikdash next year. And if they build the Beit HaMikdash next year, then the concern is that we're going to copy what we did the past year. And the past year we ate in the morning, and the next year we're going to also eat in the morning, and we can't do that. When the Beit HaMikdash is rebuilt, you cannot eat it in the morning. You have to wait till the korban is brought. So the Gemara says, what's the situation? Ilema, what's the situation? Maybe they're going to build the Beit HaMikdash on the 16th of Nisan. If the concern is Ilema the Ivnei Mishitza, that the Beit HaMikdash will be built on the 16th of Nisan, which is the second day of Pesach, but that's not a concern. Because let's say this year the Beit HaMikdash wasn't rebuilt, correct? This past Pesach, right? Simon, the Beit HaMikdash wasn't rebuilt this past Pesach. And then next year, maybe they'll build the Beit HaMikdash. When are they going to build it? Let's say they're going to build it, they're going to finish building the Beit HaMikdash on the second day of Pesach. During the second day of Pesach, they're going to finish rebuilding on the 16th. But once the morning of the 16th arrived and the Beit HaMikdash wasn't finished, you're already allowed to go ahead. What do you, Nathan? You're ready to go and eat the new crop. So there's no problem of eating the new crop in the morning of the 16th if the Beit HaMikdash wasn't yet rebuilt by the morning of the 16th. Because then the morning comes, it's not rebuilt, you have a right to go and eat the new crop. But Ella, the Ivni B'chamisah, what's the concern? Maybe the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt the next year on the 15th. Let's say we finish being rebuilt on the 15th. And once it's finished rebuilt on the 15th, now no longer the morning of the 16th is it permitted. You have to wait till the bringing of the korban, which took place on this day of the 16th. So therefore, we're afraid. Now we have understanding why you should be afraid. If you're going to allow the people to eat it when the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed on the morning of the 16th, the next year, when the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt by the 15th of the month, they can eat it again for breakfast on the 16th, but they're not allowed to because they have to wait until the korban is brought. Is that clear? Does everyone have it clear what's going on here? So the Gemara shoots back, but I don't understand. Why should you tell the people? Why should Yochanan Bazaka say you can't eat it the whole day of the 16th? When the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt, the Bezdin, the court, is mezarez. The court is encouraging the Kohanim to bring the korban as soon as they can. And you will know that by midday, by 1 o'clock or whatever, Chatzot and 1 o'clock, it's already brought. By midday, there's an expression, you could bet your bottom dollar, and that's a nice expression, maybe you should use it. But you will know definitely that they brought the korban. Therefore, let's say you don't live in Yerushalayim, and you don't see you don't live in the old city. You live in Tel Aviv, and now you want to know, can I eat at midday? Midday has come. Can I eat the new crop? So you can, if you're in Tel Aviv, you know for sure that by midday they already took care of it in the Beit HaMikdash. And therefore, even though you didn't see it, you can go ahead and eat the new crop. So if the Beit HaMikdash is built in the day before the holiday, so already that on the second day of the sorry, if the Beit HaMikdash is built by the 15th, on the 15th, you already know on the 16th that they're going to bring it by midday. So why should he say you can't eat it the whole 16th, day of the 16th? He should just say you have to wait until chatzot. Wait until midday. To just that will ensure that there won't be any stumbling block. Because if you wait till midday, so even if the Beit HaMikdash is built next year, by midday they already brought the offering. Yes, they.
Let's say they build it next year, but they build it at 5 in the afternoon.
Oh, very good. So that's what the Gemara is going to address, saying like Nathan's going to say, that maybe they'll finish building it so close to the 16th that they're not going to have enough time to do the processing of the korban and all what it takes, and therefore that will delay them. That's what the Gemara calls it. The sifting of the barley, there was like 13 sifting of the barley. It was very finely sifted, and it was a lot of it required the cutting, the threshing, the drying, the grinding, the sifting 13 times. It's a large process. And therefore, if it would be built late in the day, that's what the Gemara is going to answer. Therefore, maybe that will run a little late. So the Gemara says, again, the Gemara says, Mechatzot hayom lahalat tishrei should be permitted from midday. The Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, harachokim, people who live far away from Jerusalem, mutarim mechatzot hayom. They're allowed to already eat the new crop from midday, the second day of Pesach, because, meaning at the time that the Beit HaMikdash is standing, from the midday, second day of Pesach, they already could eat the new crop. Why? Because you know for sure that they already brought the korban. They already brought it by midday. Mutarim machatzot hayom al halon from midday and on. Fisha ain't bezdin mitatzlim bo. Bezdin is not lazy about it. Bezdin is very on top of it and making sure that the people bring their korban by midday. So again, that's the Gemara's question. Again, the Gemara's question on the table is why did Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai enact you cannot eat when the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed? You can't eat the new crop that took root from the last Pesach to this Pesach till the end of the day of the second day of Pesach, till the end of the 16th. Why should not he allow you to eat it from midday of the 16th? What are you afraid of? You're afraid of maybe this coming year they're going to build the Beit HaMikdash and they cannot eat it in the morning, because you can't, once the Beit HaMikdash is built, you can't eat in the morning the new crop. You have to wait till the korban omer. Okay, but the korban omer will already have been brought by midday. So why should he make an enactment that you're not allowed to go ahead and eat the new crop until when the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, the whole day? You should be able to eat it from midday. So the Gemara says, "Lo nitzlucha," like Nathan said, "The ivni b'chamitzah samach l'shkita chama." Maybe they will conclude the building of the Beit HaMikdash at the end of the first day of Pesach. And Rashi is going to bring up the question, how are you allowed to build the Beit HaMikdash on the first day of Pesach? You're not allowed to build the Beit HaMikdash on Shabbat. You're not allowed to build the Beit HaMikdash on Yom Tov. You're not allowed to build the Beit HaMikdash at night also. So Rashi will address that soon. But the Gemara says maybe they build the Beit HaMikdash close to sunset on the 15th. Remember, Pesach, the first day is the 15th. Maybe they will build it on the 15th before sunset. Inami the Ivna B'Laila, maybe actually be concluded the night of the 16th. That means, let's say today was the first day of Pesach. Last night we had the Seder. And today is the first day. And tonight, maybe they'll finish rebuilding the Beit HaMikdash tonight. Achal Moed Pesach, they'll finish the first night they finish rebuilding. So there's very little time to prepare the korban. And they did not have the time to harvest the korban, to prepare it until to bring it by chatzot, the next day by midday. And therefore, if you would allow the people, when the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, let's say in our time, we have no Beit HaMikdash. If you allow the people to eat the new crop from midday, meaning we know on a Torah level, when the morning comes, you can already eat the new crop, when there's no Beit HaMikdash. And now you're going to say, okay, but we're afraid if you can eat it this year in the morning when there's no Beit HaMikdash, they can eat it next year in the morning when there's no when the Beit HaMikdash is around. And that'll be a big problem, because that'll be violating the Torah, because when the Beit HaMikdash is around, you cannot eat in the morning, you have to wait till the offering is brought. So now you can say, okay, so make an enactment, you can't eat it in the morning. Good morning, welcome, good to see you. We can eat it in the morning. You can't eat it in the morning, but you should be able to eat it by midday. Make that enactment. In the Beit HaMikdash is not around, eat it by midday. So the Gemara's concern is if I'm going to allow you when the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed to eat it by midday, so next year when the Beit HaMikdash is rebuilt, the Beit HaMikdash might be rebuilt morning asaf. When the Beit HaMikdash might be rebuilt, it might be rebuilt late enough that you will not have brought the offering by noon the next day, and therefore there'll be a problem that people will come ahead, and if they're going to eat by noon, but if offering wasn't brought, they'll be violating the Torah. Therefore, to ensure that nobody does a sin, they said you cannot eat it the whole second day of Pesach. That's what the Gemara said regarding that. So now the Gemara continues. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Omar. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak has a different understanding of Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai's enactment. Until now, we said that when the Beit HaMikdash is not standing, in our days, right, Asaf? Beit HaMikdash is not standing, we said that you cannot, that you have allowance to eat the new crop of the 5 grains that took root from last Pesach to this Pesach, when there's no Beit HaMikdash, once the morning of the second day of Pesach comes, you could eat the new crop. As you know, we count Sfirat HaOmer, right? Sfirat HaOmer is, when do we start counting Sfirat HaOmer? The second night of Pesach. Because the second day of Pesach is the time when they actually brought this offering. There was a special offering that was brought in the Beit HaMikdash on the second day of Pesach, and that was called the Omer. There's a certain amount of barley that was brought, and that's what the Gemara is talking about. This offering that was brought in the time of the Beit HaMikdash, and what was unique about that offering? That offering allowed you. There's a law in the Torah called Chadash. If you look at when you go to pizza stores, they say Yashan. Our food is Yashan. Our Kemach Yashan. Our flour is old. Now, who wants old flour? New flour, fresh flour, right? But why they're saying that, and now, but the reason why they're saying it's old is they mean to say that it was already took root. It's not from this past season. It took root, meaning from before the previous Pesach. For instance, today we are now in the time we are in September. Any grain, if you see that the store says Yashan, it's old, that means it already took root before the last Pesach. It means Pesach was about 5 months ago, about 5 months ago. So that flour that you're buying, when it says Yashan, means already was from before was before 5 months ago. It wasn't planted after Pesach and harvested in the last 5 months, because that would be Chadash. That would be new. But when it says Yashan, that means it was from before. So it means it took root. It had to have taken root before the previous. It could have been harvested post Pesach, but as long as it took root, there's enough time to take root. That would be making that. It's not a problem. When is Chadash permitted? Technically, the new crop, we have to wait till the people who are very careful about this. Now, in Eretz Yisrael, everybody's careful about it. There is discussion outside the land of Israel regarding the application of this law or not. And all the different doubts. You don't know where this crop is from. When is this flour from? So there is a lot of discussion about outside the land of Israel. But the Chadash, so your question, Nathan, about the new crop, if I know I have, let's say, the issue. So therefore, you wouldn't be, technically, you have to wait till the next Pesach. The next second day of Pesach, and according to Rabbi Yochanan, right, because now that crop, until the second day of Pesach, was called new. But now that the second day has finished, concluded, as with the enactment of Rabbi Yochanan, then that now it has a different stat. It's called old. That now becomes old. Now I recall somebody saying that there were certain rabbis that back in like the early 70s. So I think they said in the name of maybe one of maybe Rabbi Brudney's father, Rabbi Shmuel Brudney. I think I heard something that he said that there was a concern years ago in the storage of such flour. But if let's say it's March time, and now this crop that you're going to be eating has to come from the previous Pesach, before the previous Pesach. That's many months of storage, and there was very big concern of bugs, infestation in the flour. So there were people that followed certain lenient opinions regarding the outside of Israel because they were afraid to eat the old flour because they were of concern of infestation. But today, the way they store things is much better. So I said, that concern is not as strong. It doesn't mean you have to check. You have to make sure your flour is not, if it's older flour, there's more of a possibility of bugs, of infestation. You have to be careful about that. But like I said, today things are much better in the storage of things. So maybe it's not as much of an issue. So Rav Nachman by Yitzchak Amar, so he has a different understanding of the enactment of Yochanan Zakkai. This is how he explains. Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai, now we're turning the page. We're on 30b. 30b1. Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai, B'shitat Rabbi Yehuda Amra. He's in the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. What did Rabbi Yehuda hold? You see, until now we said that the new crop, we said when there's no Beit HaMikdash, the morning of the 16th, you're allowed to eat the new crop, right? Nathan's case was planted after Pesach. You have to wait till if there's no Beit HaMikdash, the following Pesach, 12 months, 11 something months later, in the morning, the second day of Pesach, in the morning you can start eating that new crop. When there's no Beit HaMikdash, when there is a Beit HaMikdash, you have to wait. The morning is not allowed. You have to wait till the korban is brought. But I just want to go back to Rashi. We didn't address one point. We said the Gemara says maybe the Beit HaMikdash is going to be rebuilt late on the 15th. On the 15th, late in the day. Now the 15th morning. The 15th is the holiday of Pesach. It's Yom Tov. On Yom Tov, you're not allowed to build the Beit HaMikdash. I want everyone to look at the Rashi. On Lamed and Aleph, Rashi, if you go turn back a page, second line from the bottom. Look at that Rashi. Vim Toma. I'll show you where the Rashi is right over here. Nasan right over here. On third, and if you go back, if you go to the Hebrew side, in the beginning of the Vim Toma, 38. Rashi, how is it possible that it was built on the 15th by Yom Tov? Or the Ivdi B'Layla, or was built at night, the night right after the 15th, which was the night of the 16th. It says in Masechet Shavuot, the ain't binyan Beit HaMikdash, you cannot build the Beit HaMikdash lo b'Yom Tov, lo b'Layla. You can't build it on Yom Tov. And you can't build it at night. You know, there's the drush, the Torah says, in Parshas Vayakel, Moshe talks about the Mishkan and he talks about Shabbat. So what's the connection Shabbat and the Mishkan? Why are they connected? Because even though there's a great mitzvah to build the Mishkan, you're not allowed to do it on Shabbat. Shabbat is so powerful of a mitzvah, of a keeping of Shabbat, so the Torah did not allow you to even build a Beit HaMikdash on Shabbat. That's how strong the mitzvah of Shabbat is. And certainly, you cannot do it on Yom Tov. And also, there's another drasha, you can't do it at night. You can't build a Beit HaMikdash at night. It has to be done by daytime. Certain mitzvot have to be done by day. Right? You know, the certain mitzvot, lulav is by day. You can't do the mitzvah lulav by night. And this mitzvah is a mitzvah to build the Beit HaMikdash. One of the 613 mitzvot is building the Beit HaMikdash. And you can't do that at night. So how does the Gemara say maybe they'll build it at night? So Rashi says, "Hani mili binyan b'nei adam." If we build it ourselves, when the Torah gave a law of building a Beit HaMikdash, so we built the first Beit HaMikdash, the second Beit HaMikdash, that we built with our hands. But the third Beit HaMikdash, Rashi says, אבל בניין העתיד לבוא בידי שמיים. The third Beit HaMikdash comes from Shemayim. You know, snow comes from heaven, the rain comes from heaven, the month comes from heaven. There's going to be so many things come from heaven. Our life comes from heaven. Our neshama comes from heaven. So you know what happened to Beit HaMikdash? Mikdash Hashem, we say in the Oz Yashir, Konenu Yedecha, your hands prepared it. So Rashi's under the impression that the third Beit HaMikdash will be built by heaven. And therefore, the issue of building at night, the issue of Yom Tov, we're not allowed. God is allowed to build it at night. Hashem could build it on Yom Tov. Yes.
He built it. Why couldn't he build it on the 15th or the 14th? Why would he wait? It's a silly question I'm asking, but why would he wait until the end of the 15th or the beginning of the 16th?
And why would he wait till that time? I mean, maybe at the last moment we did certain things that will bring us to have that merit. Maybe by the observance to have the Beit HaMikdash be rebuilt. Now, others take issue with Rashi. You know, the Rambam seems not go like Rashi. Rambam seems to say that we will build the third Beit HaMikdash. It's not going to be built. It's not that it's going to be from heaven. So then the question is, so there's a major dispute regarding this. What's going to be? We'll wait and see. Time will tell. We'll know. We'll see who's right on whether the Beit HaMikdash will be built by us or by Hashem. Now, so how does the Rambam address this question? So what the Meiri wants to answer Rashi's question by saying, perhaps the court at that time when the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt, there was a concern they will make a mistake, and they will think that you're allowed to build the Beit HaMikdash on Yom Tov or at night, and that's what might happen, and therefore that's the concern that they might make a mistake, build the Beit HaMikdash at night or on Yom Tov, and therefore they will not have brought the korban on time, and therefore if you're going to allow people to eat from the new crop from midday, it's possible that the offering wasn't brought yet when the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt, and people are going to be making a mistake and eating too early. But it's a difficult answer, because to say that the Beis Din is going to make a mistake, usually the court doesn't, there are things in the Torah that talks about a court making a mistake, but they all know the law, so why would they, some say the eagerness, but it's hard, that's a hard answer, but there has to be other approaches to this question. But that's the interesting issue that's brought up by Rashi, is how could they build the Beit HaMikdash at night or on Yom Tov? Getting back to our Gemara now, getting back to turning the page on 30b. Until now, we presented the difference of time when the Beit HaMikdash is around, the Beit HaMikdash is not around. We said when the Beit HaMikdash is here, you have to go ahead and when the Beit HaMikdash is here, you have to wait till the Korban HaOmeh is brought. Once the Korban is brought, then you can go ahead and eat the new crop. When the Beit HaMikdash is not around, then we said you have just the morning of the 16th. There's a leniency. You can already starting from the morning of the 16th, the second day morning, you could of Pesach, you already start eating the new crop. However, Rabbi Yehuda says not that way. He says that when there's no Beit HaMikdash, you have to wait the whole day of the 16th. He holds that on a Torah level, you're not allowed to eat the new crop until the end of the 16th, because he expounds on the pasuk, the Amar ad etzem hayom hazeh. The pasuk says that you're not allowed to eat the new crop ad etzem hayom hazeh. So he understands etzem hayom hazeh ad atzmo shel yom, until the whole day has passed. Uksava ad va'ad b'chlal. He holds when the Torah says ad, until this day, he understands until and including this day. Ad, until this very day, and so when you say until this day, what do you mean? Until the beginning of this day, until the end of the day? famous Gemara Brachot, right? The Gemara talks about, um, Tefillah Shachrit, right? You have to daven Shachrit has a certain time. You're supposed to daven Shachrit by a certain time of the day. You're not supposed to wake up at 11 o'clock. Daven Shachrit. You're supposed to daven by 4 hours into the day. Now, the hours depend on how big the day is, how do you calculate an hour. So it says until 4 hours. Does it mean until the end of 4 hours or the beginning of 4 hours? What does it mean until? Until and including and not. So he holds in the Pasuk, when the Pasuk says, until this day and including this day. So the Torah says until the 16th and including the 16th, you cannot eat the new crop until the 16th has been concluded. Now, so the Gemara says the following. And therefore, Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai also agrees to this. Rabbi Yochanan, and it's not a rabbinic law. This prohibition, he understands that Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai, who makes this enactment, you cannot eat the whole day of the 16th when the Beit HaMikdash is not around. Once the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, can't eat the whole day of the 16th. It's not a rabbinic law. Rather, it's a what? It's a Torah law. And Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai is when he says that when he goes out and he goes and he gives a speech at the pulpit, or he makes an enactment and he says you cannot eat now that the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, you can't eat the whole day of the 16th. He was telling you the Torah law. Now the Gemara is going to jump on this because the Gemara is going to say, but he says he enacted. When you enact something, it sounds like it's not that that's the Torah law. If it's the Torah law was enacted much more, you need to be an enactment of if that's the law. That's what the Gemara is going to jump on a little bit soon. The Gemara says, "Umi savala kavate." Does the acts are they both in agreement with each other? Is Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai and Rabbi Yehuda? Rabbi Yehuda went on record. See, we have clearly. Rabbi Yehuda says you cannot eat the whole day of the 16th. That's the Torah law when there's no Beit HaMikdash. When there's a Beit HaMikdash, you can eat earlier, once they brought the Karban. No Beit HaMikdash, you can't eat the whole 16th. But the Gemara says, does he hold like him? For Miflag Palagale, we see that he disagrees. Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai disagrees. Why? That not the Mishnah said, Mishachara Beit HaMikdash, when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, Hitkin Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai, Sheyoman Ev Kulos. Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai said that the whole day, when the Beit HaMikdash is destroyed, you can't eat the whole day. And Amar Rabbi Yehuda says, what do we need him to enact it? It's already forbidden. It's also in the Torah. The Torah says you have to wait until the end of the day. That's how he understands the pasuk. So how can Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai make an enactment? We already know it's forbidden. So it's clear Rabbi Yehuda is saying he's not at the same page Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai. Rabbi Yehuda is saying the whole day is forbidden on a Torah level, and he's questioning Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai, which sounds like that Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai holds it's not forbidden the whole day. That's the Gemara's question. They're not on the same page. That the Gemara says, Hatam Rabbi Yehuda de Katai. Rabbi Yehuda made a mistake. He misunderstood Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai. The fact that Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai made an enactment, he thought it means that on a Torah level it's not forbidden. It's Torah level wasn't permitted, but he made the enactment. He made it forbidden. So again, he thought Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai is making a rabbinic enactment. It means on a Torah level it's permitted in the morning. And Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai says you can't eat it the whole day. That's what he thought. But really, that's not what Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai meant. Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai meant that the whole day it's forbidden on a Torah level. But the people were not aware of it. You know why? 420 years there was a Beit HaMikdash. Now you have to tell the people, guys, Beit HaMikdash is no longer. You have to wait the whole day. So that's what it means. He enacted. He means he expanded on the law that people were not familiar with. Midraita Kama. He was saying on a Torah law you have to wait the whole day. There was a hitkin, but it says hitkin katani. He made an enactment. My hitkin dorash v'hitkin. It means he expanded. He went out in public and he told them about this law that they might not have known because it's 420 years and they have been eating the korban, the new crop, when they brought the korban, when they brought the omer by chatzot, by midday, and now he had to tell no Beit HaMikdash, you have to wait the whole day. Okay, I want to wish everyone a beautiful day. Back tomorrow. Now Thursday starts Lichot. This Thursday we're gonna have to get earlier. I know it might be a little difficult, but it's a challenge. But you know what? It's gonna be that late. Yeah, it's gonna be too late. So you know what? We're gonna start at 6:15. We allow you in at 6:20, and we'll allow you in whatever time you come if you don't come at 6:15. But 6:40.